Okay, we should be back. Welcome back to RTA in Japan. Konbanwa, or Genki desu ka? Hope everyone's having a fantastic evening. My name's Bowie the Hero, and I will be your commentator for the next run, Onimusha Warlords, being done by the very wondrous Hinge. A little bit of history for you, just about this speed run. I ran this game at SGDQ 2017, and a few days after that run, Hinge came onto the scene, breaking the world record on the original PS2 version, and it has since pretty much been a powerhouse of all things Onimusha ever since. And is the second runner and the current record holder for Onimusha 1 with a sub 1 hour RTA. So Hinge will be doing the any percent normal mode for the HD remake of Onimusha. This is a remake, obviously, of the first game that came out back in 2000. Very early PS2 game made by the developers of Resident Evil, a kind of Resident Evil style game that kind of takes place in feudal Japan. So it's a little bit of a different style, a little bit of a different approach, but still a very, very, very good game. So whilst it's going to be mostly the same in terms of general route and all that kind of stuff that we're going to see in Onimusha, it should be noted that there are some differences in terms of execution that you can do on the actual PS4 version itself, mostly because they added a few movement options and all that kind of stuff, and a few more buttons that you can do here and there with HD, just to ease up the movement and ease up the general pace of the game. That as well, because the game generally runs faster loading it, etc., etc., it does make for a faster run. And as I said, this game is now a sub 1 RTA. When originally getting a sub 1 in-game time was, tricky enough. But yeah, Hinge has been really supportive of the Western community as well for Onimusha, and has been part of that as well. Just choosing our mode, a new game here. Hinge is selecting the character outfit, so there's a secret and special outfit for every character, and he's going from both of them. I think Samanosuke and Kaede both have a secret outfit that you can unlock in different ways. So yeah, he's going to go for the secret outfit on both of those. We've got Panda Nosuke and Demon Kaede are going to be on show for the next the next run. And as I said, normal mode is I guess the most popular. Ultimate's also pretty popular too, actually. But normal is kind of like the original run, and the one that a lot of original runners have only kind of got into. So off we go. It begins. It should be noted that this takes place in a kind of almost historical fiction type thing. A bit of preface at the Battle of Sekigahara, Oda Nobunaga. Well, no, it wasn't Sekigahara. I'm thinking of something else. Oda Nobunaga got killed on basically in combat recently, but he's been brought back to life through the power of the demons. And a local princess Yuki, got taken by the demons, and Samanosuke, who's meant to be like the nephew of Mitsuhide Akechi. His name's Samanosuke Akechi. He's kind of trying to save her. Now this beginning, you need to deal 8 hits onto one of these spiders here. So Hinge is going to go face the one that's nearest to him. He's going to do a 3-hit combo, do a quick 360, 1 2 3 360 1 2, and 8 hits are done. Now into the cutscene. So if you've played the original game before of Onimusha, you'll know that the game uses tank controls. So rather than up and down, moving you up and down a map, up is forward and down is back, and then left and right turns you rather than strays you. So that was kind of the original way of moving. In the HD version of Onimusha, they added in the analog stick controls, where you can move in any direction based on where the camera is facing. Now this is interesting, but also to be used in a very specific and sparing way. But it's very good for combat, as you saw there. The reason he does a little spin is to reset the combat animation for kind of regular katanas, and the first magical weapon that Samanosuke will get. It basically has a 4-hit combo, like a left swipe, a right swipe, a slice up, and then a down finishing combo. But in order that is quite slow and also knocks the enemy down. So that opening 8 hits is done very fast with the 1 2 3, reset the animation with a little spin, 1 2 3, reset animation, 1 2. So that's how that works. The demons, obviously, as you saw, skulk off. Samanosuke tries to save Yukihime, and then gets bodied by this red demon whose name is Osric. And yeah, Samanosuke basically, he wants to save Princess Yuki and defeat Nobunaga Oda. because
で、
that's what you
赤
do.
と青と黄色が
If you know anything, or if
赤
you're
は
kind of
経
like
験値魂で
somewhat
武器強化
knowledgeable
などに
about
使いま
elements
す。これ
of
を
Japanese
18000
history,
集めていきます。
you will know
青
about
色は
Mitsuhide
気力を回
Akechi
復す
and
るための
his
もので、
role in the downfall
114
of
の魂となってま
the
す。
Oda
黄色
clan.
は、体力回復の
So it's kind of interesting that they kind of created Samanosuke as a kind of almost like a not a parallel, but kind of like as the nephew of
で、この
Mitsuhide.
ムービーの内容としまして
Fun
は、
thing about this game is that it's quite an
ゲーム
advanced
まあ
looking
という
game
も
as
の
well.
に
You might
雪
notice
が
that
さ
like
ら
the
われ
character
たぞ
models
と。
really good
で、
looking in
今のお
general.
前だったら
But
ちょっと
specifically,
倒
they
せ
went
ね
for
え
that
から
kind of
俺
very
ら
realistic
力貸してやるよ
style.
って玄米に倒された側の鬼に
Samanosuke
言ってですね
Akechi's design is based
倒
off
された側
of
の
a
力が
well-known
って思うんだよ。
Japanese actor, Takeshi Kaneshiro. They used his likeness and designed characters around him. They kind of kept this going as well into Onimusha 3, where they used Jean Reno as Jacques' character model as well. So they kind of wanted to go with that vibe. But yeah, Takeshi Kaneshiro is a very well-known Japanese actor, and kind of him taking on that role was kind of a big deal for this game when it first came out. So the beginning of this game is, you know, Samanosuke gets bodied, as I said, by Osric, and then kind of like in this dream state, he kind of goes between two planes of existence and meets the Ogre clan. The Ogre clan give him access to the Oni Gauntlet, or the Ogre Gauntlet, which allows him to absorb the souls of his foes. So from now on, whenever Hinge will be fighting enemies, they will drop potentially three types of souls. Red ones, experience; yellow ones, health; and blue ones, magic. Blue ones are going to be very important for the speed of most battles, because magic is one of the biggest damage dealers we're going to have throughout the course of this run. And the red one is experience. There is a very tight experience route. Hinge does one that I believe is slightly different to mine, so I'll try and keep up with it as best I can. But the run begins in earnest now, so off we go. Making use of the D-pad strafing as well as the tank controls to get around these corners nice and quickly. To kind of clear this. So you'll notice that all of the game uses static backgrounds and considered camera angles. And I've always loved this about games. It always creates a very considered way of approaching things. So we're gonna skip past these skeleton demons and get straight into like the first actual encounter. And this is where we're going to see a very important skill that's going to be used across the course of the game to get as many souls as possible. And that is the Isen. I'll let you see what it is, and then I'll explain exactly what the Isen is and why it's so good. Beautiful, nice Hijiki. Grab some orbs there. Perfect, wonderful. Honestly, very good there from Hinge. So the Isen, or the Hijiki Isen, there's two different types, is a one-hit instant kill move on pretty much everything in the game. It doesn't work on bosses, except one. I'll describe that later. Now, the Isen one-shots with critical damage any regular enemy in the game. It also increases the drops you get in terms of experience, HP, and MP. So the regular Isen, if you just press the attack button at the last dying moments of an enemy's attack, Samanosuke will perfectly evade and counter and kill the opponent. Normally what happens is Samanosuke will like strafe to the side and then do a vertical slice down. But you saw a different attack there at the start, where Hinge actually did what's called Hijiki Isen, which is when he guards at the last possible moment, and rather than getting knocked back, you see Samanosuke do an animation where he pushes the sword forward, and then if you attack immediately afterwards, you'll do a horizontal slice moving forward, which allowed him to kill both of the skeletons at the back, and then he went for the vertical to get the other two that were clumped up very nicely. Really good stuff from Hinge. He's the thing that sets him apart about this game is the accuracy of that combat. He's really been grinding this out, and you'll see that across the board. Very talented runner. There's one particular trick that if he doesn't get, I'll be surprised, because he's the guy. So we're going to evade most enemies here. We don't really need to get much experience. There is experience that we want to get here and there, because as I said, we do need a minimum amount of experience to get through the game, because there are 3 elemental and magic weapons. This is the first one. This is Raizan, which has the elemental spell of Shiden, which is lightning. So Raizan has an attack animation similar to the regular katana, so it works somewhat similarly to that. As you saw here, there are these puzzle boxes that will be picked up to get us key items, as well as these trick boxes that I believe we're going to go grab over here, which gives us magic jewels. So there's a magic jewel. He's not. He is going to go for the health. Okay, cool.
力1つに入れます。
Yeah,
この暗号は
521 or
もちろん
621.
皆さん
We'll get him a power
M2
jewel as well. So the
で
power jewel is
やってみ
increased
たら
health. Now, I appreciate this.
わからな
It's
か
a
ったら
marathon
言
run.
ってください。
You want to make sure you
で
don't
この
die.
気持ち悪いブヨ
There's
ビヨ
one
を
combo that
バイオス
can one-shot you
玉
from
の
full.
指で
You don't want to go through that.
封印を解いて
Power jewels increase the maximum HP. Magic jewels increase the maximum MP. There's 4 of each, I believe.
進んでって
So yeah, we're going to
一回
skip
だけ
most of the
全部
encounters and the enemies, as I said, and kill only what we
あ
need
来
to
ましたね
kill.
はいこんな感じです
Very nice. Gets a
で一の
Hajiki
一戦
there.
結構楽
Very
で
nice.
楽なんで大丈夫ですね
Skip these
で天使
enemies,
は
get past the zombie
いいアイテムを
demons, and then use both jewels
人しか
and
助け
then
れ
the
ません
rope ladder to continue
Shogun
down
Joe
into the
ですね
gorge, where we're going to fight our first boss of the game. This is
先に進ん
Osric,
で
so the
って
demon at the
最
very
初のボス
beginning
オ
of
ブ
the
リクセ
game
ントになり
that
ます
nabbed Princess Yuki
こいつは
will be our
戦
first
術
boss.
核化3回プラス口力
This is a very, very straightforward boss. He has a few animations like vertical swipes, horizontal swipes, a charging attack, a big, like, wide AoE. So he's not like too dangerous, quite simple. But we're gonna have to rely on, like the faster fights, rely on a bit of RNG in the blue souls. So we're gonna open up this fight by getting an attack into the first magic spell. And then it should be a full hit combo. There's 1, 2. Okay, goes for that. 1, 2. He's going to try and keep the magic usage down, it seems. Fair enough. Okay, there's blue magic. Okay, cool. Here's we go. He gets the blue magic out. He waits for the magic drop first. That's actually a really smart way of doing it. Hinge, you're awesome. And then he's just basically going to try and go as ham as possible. The thing about magic, as you're noticing, is that it completely renders the enemy immobile. They can't do anything. They're just stuck in that animation. This is looking very good for Hinge. He's actually gonna, yeah, there we go. Grab the last piece of magic, and then finish the fight. Good fight. Pretty solid, nice and clean. So rather than going for the open magic strat, which is normally what I do, he waits for a blue soul to drop, because that guarantees he gets the extra cast. If you get one cast, or if you get one drop, you can cast again. So absorb the souls, and then continue. So a thing to note is that when you pick up souls, it's like 10 for a single soul. But if you grab a load in a row, you get a bonus to the total souls you get. It'll keep building up together. You can get a total of 1,000. And the way that the souls work is that every single bar you get is 1,000 souls. When it comes to upgrading things, using the souls, using your experience, you can either upgrade the sword itself, or you can upgrade the magic that the sword has. Upgrading the magic is 2,000 for level 2, and then a further 4,000 for level 3. For the swords, it's 3,000 for level 2, and then a further 6,000 for level 3. We're only going to upgrade magic, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. In the meantime, this is Guildenstern. Guildenstern is a very funny and interesting man, a demon who resurrected Lord Nobunaga, and tells Samanosuke a little bit about what's going on here, that these demons are trying to take over, and Lord Nobunaga sacrificed himself, or sold his soul to the demons to come back and have their power to take over Japan. And Samanosuke obviously can't let that happen. But Ronaldo's got a trick up his sleeve. This is Ronaldo, our first, I guess, a mini-boss. Very dangerous and very scary mini-boss. We have to be careful there. Hopefully, Hinge will be able to do this fight. Let's see our world record holder in action. Good stuff. Well, you don't have to fight Ronaldo. You can just ignore him. Just run and grab the sword and run out. So this is our second sword. This is Enryu, which has that's the name of the sword, and the magic is Koen, which is a big fire attack. So where Shiden is a single target strike with lightning, Koen is a line AoE with fire. And the sword is 3 slower strikes rather than the faster strikes of Shiden. This is an incredibly important part of the run. These blue dudes, they basically absorb souls, and when they multiply the souls that go into them, out. So Hinge getting caught here by that blue one. He needs to keep track of where the one he needs to fight is. There it is. He gets one there. Now he needs to see where they go. Okay, easy. The one on the left. Now again, because this multiplies the souls that come out, he cannot screw this up. He needs to get every single set of souls, go through all of them to maximize the multiplier and maximize the soul gain. He wants to come out of this with about 4,000, 5,000 souls. Wonderful. 5,000. Brilliant. There we go. So, on some doors, you'll also notice these little red
普通に押します
nodes. And what these red nodes are, they're locks. And in order to open these locks, you need magic of the same level as nodes you see. So we're going to upgrade Shiden to level 2 and Koen to level 2. This means that we can now unlock doors with 2 nodes of electric, of fire, etc., etc. Which is very, very important. Because as I say, this is the main damage that we're going to deal, and it's also the main way to get through the game. And that's why we only unlock magic. Really, we're going to get Shiden level 2, and then Koen, and then the final magic spell, I'll talk about that later, will be the ones going to level 3. I appreciate the safety saves. It is a marathon run after all. This is extra. That is a lot of safety. I wonder if he's got some incentives that he wants to do as well. Actually, that would be interesting. Okay, so our next Isen, we need to get it on the Taurus Demon. Very nice, immediate Isen. And then there's going to be a few more of these blue soul absorbers. However, these ones are a little bit different. These ones, if you give them enough distance, they will start to spin and then they will disappear. So it's up to the player. Well, Hinge in this case here puts the helmet on. Very nice. You need to get in and punish those soul absorbers before, because it counts as an Isen, so you get a lot more. Once again, 5,000 souls, so looking really good right now. That's 9,000 he currently has, which is more than enough. So we're getting inside the keep now. Whilst we can't really skip many cutscenes, there is CGI in this game, and you can skip the CGI in this game. But so far, I mean, I have to have a look at this just because I'm curious. But Hinge is on an incredible pace, I think. At least. He took down Osric at 9:02, which is pretty tricky. I didn't see the time he actually got in Ryu, but all I know that it's going to put me to shame because this guy is good. But yeah, so before we continue into the keep, we're going to meet Tokichiro Kinoshita, otherwise known as Toyotomi, I believe. Is it Toyotomi or Tokichiro? I think it's Toyotomi. Yes. So he's basically in league with the demons and in league with Nobunaga Oda, trying to obviously, defeat the Saito clan and take over Japan. Classic. Samanosuke, obviously in his epic panda suit, says, "No, I will not join you. I'm here to save Princess Yuki." Very serious, of course. Very serious man. Very serious times here. Now, well, I'm going to see. He shouldn't grab it now, just for ease of. Yeah, okay, he won't. That box on the right will be picked up later, but he doesn't. It'll take more time out to go and grab it before coming over. So, yeah. And of course, Demon Kaede finds the young man. This is Yumimaru. He's a young farmhand who was taken in by Princess Yuki and kind of like looked after. So he cares for her very much, and he's worried about her. He obviously doesn't trust a giant scary panda and a demon woman, so he's going to run away. And then we're going to go and look for him. So the idea is to try and save Yumimaru and save Princess Yuki. It's a case of like, you go after Yumimaru, I'll find Princess Yuki. Yet they go the exact same way. Going to be important to see how he deals with this screen. I don't know why. Yeah, he does what I do as well. Yeah, want to basically quickly use Enryu on those just to get them out of the way, and then cool. Get through the level 2 door. We'll grab 1/2 of the Saito clan emblem, and then immediately get out of here. So this is what's really good about the analog stick controls. You can see these like instant turns. Normally, if you're using tank controls, you'd have to press R2, and that would turn you around 180, or just slowly turn around with the tank controls. But right now with the analog stick, you can do these very, very like sharp turns. Grab these arrows here. There we are, and we'll go upstairs, and then immediately grab another set of arrows. These arrows will come into play at the end of the game. They are important. They are very, very important. We'll go for an early upgrade, I think, for the Koen now, yeah. This is really good
で
pace,
こう
honestly, in
遠
terms
竜
of
拳って書いてあるんですけど、遠竜拳の方を上げると通常攻撃の威力が上がる。
in terms of how
この
much
RTA では
how
遠
many
竜拳とかライダン
souls
トとかそっちの方はレベル上げません。
he's got. This is just really good. You want 10,000 souls
弓矢を使
by
う
the
とか
time you
やーねコメントがありますが、
by the time you
振る
finish
わない方がよかった
the
な。
next boss.
よし。
So this little segment here, we're going to take away. We're going to take a step back from the action, and we're going to go for a little bit of
弓
puzzle
矢
solving
はこ
now.
れ結局
Um,
40本取ります。
Right now, Kaede is just explaining to Samanosuke who Yumaru is, what she's found out about him as, you know, a person, and why he's here,
この短時
and
間
why
に
it's
そん
important
な
that he's here. And then we're going to get through a little puzzle section, a variety of different puzzles, with a nice little kind of like moving block puzzle at the end. Some of them are fairly straightforward. These, this first kind of like lever pulling one is quite straightforward. Oh, I'm interested to see if he's going to pick up the armor, because I've seen him picking up a lot of bonus stuff. Maybe that's like a 100% incentive, but
慎重に行きます。
サマノスケ、
セーブするの忘れた。
一緒に出る方法を探しましょう。
で、ここの、ご丁寧に、解くレバーがあるので、
So yeah, I just need to control both characters and get them to pull the levers. Samanosuke will pull the one on the left, so that'll open up the left side, and then Kaede will go to the far left
倒します。
of this room and pull her
これ
lever.
真ん中のレバーを引くと、
Samanosuke
脳天に矢が
will then pull the one on the right of this next
頭に
set.
矢を受けてしまってなって状態
He's going to grab the, yeah, I think he's doing a 100% incentive here. He's grabbing all of the armors and stuff.
で
That's fair. He'll still do it in
でこれ
105
サマノ
because
スケ
this
で
guy's
次の
just
扉
got
行
like
く必要ないので
through the door and onto the next one. We've now got the X's and pluses room.
で戦術核で
Well,
火を
that's
灯って
technically a puzzle,
魂を
like the
しっかり
thingies
捨て
with the fire magic.
で
Off you go. Okay, so we got crosses and pluses. So the darker ones are crosses, and then the lighter ones are pluses. The idea is that it just like closes or opens the floorboards in that direction. So if you drop someone else into the spikes, they die, and it's game over. You don't want to do that. So you normally just want to kind of immediately identify the safest pattern. I think there's 3 or 4 patterns that we kind of like normally see, and then
でパンダ
you
とコア
just
君が
execute
進ん
it
でいく
easy.
と、扉が閉まるんですが、そこまで行ったなら先に進めるだろうと思うんですけど、楓だけ逃がします。
サマノスケ、どうなってるの？サマノスケ。
で、皆さん初見の時ここのからくり解くの結構大変だったんじゃないでしょうか。結構死んだんじゃないでしょうか。で、これは水攻めじゃなくてなんかお風呂に
Okay,
入って
so this is our final puzzle now.
皆さん安心してください。
As I said, it's a
こんな
block
上の方
moving
にお風
puzzle.
呂を作る
I'm actually interested to see how Hinge does it, because I've always wondered like what is the best way to do this.
あ、ダメだ。
And I think mine is probably a bad way of doing it, but
早くできない。この紋章中央で
that's very different to mine. I wonder how I need to recount those and see if his one is less movements in line. But
肩の時点で止まっ
Hinge
て
is a bit of a
いいだ
legend.
なってところでお湯がスーッと下に行っていくんでしょうね。多分ね。
just coming out about 20 minutes and 30 seconds by the time that we finish this trapped section. At least by my timing, probably less than that actually, probably
で
like
これ
20.
を手を引くとすべてのからくりが解けます。
Split.
帰りについてちょっと
You can see obviously that the backgrounds in this game are stunning. Like I'm a massive advocate for static backgrounds. They're gorgeous. I've always liked them, like fixed camera angles, tank controls. There's just something about it that just I don't know, it works. I know it's one of those logic things. I often have conversations with people who kind of like struggle with tank controls, and I understand it can be a bit weird. But if you have the logic for it, or like you kind of have the understanding of it kind of in your hands, it's a very fun way of playing games, I find. Anyway, we grab the second half of the Saito clan emblem, and then we're going to start popping those into this door, and we can get into the other side. He has equipped the armor though and increased the power jewel, so looking pretty good.
はい、この通り。で、中に入ると、夢丸が助けてってなってます。めちゃくちゃ最速できたんですけど、夢丸はそれ以上に早くこの位置に来てるんですね。すごいですね。
He comes in time just to see Yumamara get taken away by a beastie demon. We can't let that happen, of course. And now Tokichiro is explaining the actual plan, what he wants to do. They've taken Princess Yuki, and what they're going to do is they're going to sacrifice her in front of, going to sacrifice Yumamaru in front of Princess Yuki, and that'll basically make Yuki's sorrow peak is the wording used in the game to really upset Princess Yuki. So when they kill her, her blood is at its like strongest and most powerful for the demon to consume to obviously gain more power. Obviously, of course, this is how it goes. You know, that's just classic. For the last time, no. See you again, Samanosuke. Okay, off we go. We're coming up to our next boss as well, Marcellus. Marcellus is a very interesting boss. Magic is integral to the speed of this boss, as I was mentioning last time. Grab some more arrows here just behind the stairs. That will make it a bit easier at the end. Just run past these spiders. They sometimes jump out of the way quickly, or they'll get in the way because they're idiots, but just absorb those souls, and then off we go to Marcellus. Now, Marcellus can be hit twice with Enryu. The way that the line AoE works, if you kind of like knock Marcellus back into like one kind of position, and the flames keep going, he'll get hit once and then twice by it. You want to stack up these as much as possible. With one magic jewel increase, you get 2 casts of Koan level 3. So it's very, very risky. You need to then like get, there's one, it didn't look like a second hit came out. Okay, that was a second hit. Now what he's going to try and do is going to hit the shield as much as he can in order to get, try and get magic drops from the shield, and also wherever possible deal damage to Marcellus as well, just to try and make the difference when you don't have much MP, because you can see how much it costs level 3 magic, so he needs another drop now to be able to cast again. There we go. So he needs to bait the movement out of Marcellus. There it is, double hit, perfect, what a fight. Jeez. Absolutely creamed him. I don't think he did miss a double hit then, that was my bad. Really well done. 3 double hits and good evasive maneuvers to avoid the big hits. There's 2,000 souls as well, so he's got 11,000 and he can easily upgrade. Very, very good. So this is our final sword. This is oh god, Shippu. Shippu is the name of the blade, and the magic is called Arashi. This is wind magic. This is a kind of like a ring AoE around you that just hits in like a vertical cone or a vertical cylinder. It's cylindrical. There you go. A very, very helpful spell. So we have them upgraded to 2, 3, and 2 now. We're only going to need to do one more upgrade, and that's to get Arashi level 3. After that, the souls are going to go into a different resource. Again, I'll discuss that when it becomes relevant. But for now, we have our 3 swords, and now that we have the ability to kind of go through unlocked doors, as long as we have the souls available and the levels available, we can continue the game. We've saved Yumimaru, and this is just a kind of like a nice little bit of I guess contextualizing Samanosuke and Yumimaru and the characters themselves. Like, you know, Samanosuke is a well-traveled and a wise samurai, and you know, it says that Yumimaru has to go out and see the world, see more of this land, and you know, learn, you know, what it means to, you know, be part of this world. Kaede, in case you're not sure who she is just Samanosuke's partner, like friend and confidant, those kinds of words.
で、ですね、まあ、27日にね、コップをね、洗ってたんですよ。コップを洗ってたらね、縁をなんかくるくる回して、コップを洗ってたら、そんな力入れてないですけど、バキって折れまして、コップが。で、そのガラスの縁にね、がっつり指切りましてね、すごい不吉だなと思いながら、今日までビクビクしながら生活してたんですけどね、本当に。
Okay, so we're going to be going into our next segment very, very shortly. We're going to leave. There's going to be a woman come into the room and like ask for help, and Samanosuke will leave the woman with Kaede, and there is Yumimaru behind the giant panda head dude. Dear oh dear. So here we are. This is Yui. She serves Princess Hatsu. Princess Yuki is underground. So we're going underground to go and find her.
雪姫が地下にいるので、地下に行こうぜっていうところですね。はい。楓、残された時間はあとわずかだ。俺は雪姫を助けに行く。
分か
はい、
ったわ
ということで、地下に向かいます。初見の時、地下ってどこだってなって迷った人が、まあ、結構いると思うんです
Off
け
we
ど、俺
go.
も迷い
So
ました。
now he's grabbed those arrows
こう
because they're on the way.
出て、
Very important to do
で、
that.
兵士が押し
We're
通
gonna
って
just
ますけ
avoid
ど、
these.
タイさん
Oh,
が
he's
まだ
getting
こいつ
trolled by the
なんか
NPC
強そうな
position.
ん
There's
で、
a
タイ
little bit of
さん
RNG
これ
here
全然
based on
でき
like
ない
where
で
the
やらない。抜
enemies
けました。
and the
で、
NPCs stand.
先に
But
進んで、こっちですね。
we'll see if we can get past this one.
こ
Yeah,
こが
nice and
地下で
easy.
すね。地下に進む道ですね。
Weapon change over to lightning, and off we go. So this is another thing that saves a lot of time in this game, and that's the auto weapon swap. By pressing the R2 button in this game, we can change the weapon that is held by Samanosuke.
3つ武器を交換して下に進みます。
Oh,
それで
seems we've had have a black screen right now.
PS バージョンとの違いはこのワンタッチ
Not
で
quite sure
武
what's
器が
going
交
on
換でき
here.
るか
As
でき
soon
ない
as
か
that
っていう
screen
のが
comes
ありま
back,
して
we will.
え
There we go.
R2 を
Okay, he's
押せば
right at the very, very
敵
bottom
が
now.
バージョンは
Okay, he's made some
変えられるんで
progress
すけ
into
ど
the underground.
PS バージョンはいちいち
He avoided some
メニュー
enemies
開かないといけないので
and
結構
went to go and grab
時間がかか
this
りますね。
purification bell.
で PS バージョン、画面もなくなり
This is required to
マジかよ。
get through a door in the underground because the underground keep is kind of full of haunted beasties and stuff like that. So, yeah, there are these kind of like these weird tendrils that drop souls. If you do miss out, if you don't kind of get enough souls on the way down here, you can grab those for extras. But we need the bell for here. But what I was saying earlier is that rather than having to open the menu to equip a different sword, you have a quick swap.
怖いんだけど、
So you can easily like grab a brand new weapon and off you go.
でこの仕事中の俺の
Okay,
顔
here we
みた
go.
いなところ
Who
を
likes jump scares?
浄化
Who
力で
likes jump scares?
消していきます。
Jesus.
仕事中の俺の顔
Bloody Nora, that was scary.
よかったー、マジで。
But yeah, level 2 wind for here. Thank you.
ここバイオハザードですね。進んでいきます。
He'll do another
Karakuri
puzzle
no
box.
Nagamochi.
These, they're basically,
から
those symbols are
鍵を取ります。
the Japanese writing for numbers. They just like 1 to 6 or 1 to 8, and you basically have to line it up. 1 to 4 on the top line, to 5 to 8 on the bottom, that kind of stuff. Gets his key, which allows him to continue.
不吉な
At this
当たったら
point,
マジで怖いんだよ。
Samanosuke is going to get captured by the demons. Spoilers.
画面真っ暗
And
に
we're
なったら
going to
動画なかっ
have
たんだ。
a character swap.
で、また
And
ムービー
now,
ですね。
if you've played a Resident Evil game before, you'll know that you sometimes kind of play other characters and get involved with other things. And yeah, we're going to get to play with Kaede. She's a very interesting character, and it's a shame we only get to play her a couple of times in the game. And actually, in the speedrun, it was very, very short segments. But she is really, really
20
fun.
秒ぐらい。
She plays very, very differently, but does have some unique stuff that's for her
マジかよ。
and makes her segments actually rather integral parts to the run
大丈
in
夫
terms
か
of speed and all that kind of
大丈夫か
stuff. So yeah,
見えてる。いや、マジやめて、本当に。
I'm sure by now Kaede is in trouble. Now, obviously, we know that Samanosuke is wearing a panda outfit, so the fact that Kaede sees this gentleman in the full samurai armor and isn't confused,
で、ここで、
you'd think she'd know.
サマノスケ何か分か
パン
った
ダの気に入ってるよね、玉之助ね。有能だと思ったけど、無能だったわ。楓。パンダがサマノスケだって言ってんのに。そんな格好してないしてるわけないじゃん。
That didn't go well.
サマノス
だから偽物がね、変装が下手。
まだまだ青いですな。
でここから楓編がスタートします。楓をちょっと仕留めなかったのは現場側の甘さがありますね。まあゲームが終わっちゃうんで、
Okay.
まあそんなことしない。
So now here we go. It is time to play as Kaede. Now, if you watch the SGDQ 2017 run, you'll know the legend of this man right here. This is Dying Guy, the legend, the man, the myth.
回復手段が
He's such a hero. This Dying Guy. Monsters from West Prison.
ダメージあんまり食らわないように、
Legend, absolute hero.
行きたいと思います。
He lived as he died, dying. Gives us his red key, which is very important to continue the game. Thank you very much, Dying Guy. You did it. What a hero. Let's get a +1 for dying guy.
鍵を取って先に進んでいきます。
Okay, so the Kite section, it's quite straightforward. We're going to let this guy jump forward or jump back. He'll either flip over you or flip backwards. You can get through
履
him.
いてない
Just
と
ignore them.
ポイントがあ
Go
りますが
straight
履いてま
past.
すもちろん。履いてなかったらもう
See if we can get past it. Well, yeah, he's going to go for the attack, yeah. And again, when enemies are static, their hitbox increases, or the hitbox of their body increases somewhat. And when they move or attack, it actually shrinks a little bit. So when I go for a quick Isen, the flip over the enemy allows you to get a kind of like, you knee them in the back of their knees and then like slice their necks. Easy
まあ前
fight.
に進むならいいでしょ。こいつだけいいアイテム
That's
を取って
double kunai to kill the two archers. This is important to kill these enemies. Whenever there are these soldiers that are fighting, if you kill the enemies, they give you a prize. We take this one because that one is very important. That is a soul absorber. This is an incredibly important item to the run. It's a keystone to the speed of a couple of fights. You can use them in two potential places. So yeah, it depends on what you want. 5, 7, 2.
雑魚敵は一瞬で消えます。
For another magic
歯車を
jewel.
取っ
Again, I'll describe what the soul absorber does later on when we use it, but just know that it's
手に
important.
入れます。いや、求人、そっちの求人じゃねえんだよな。求人、魂を吸う方なんですよね。いや、ホットペッパービューティーじゃなくてね。いや、ハローアカーじゃなくて、あんまそうか、あんま企業名が出したらまずいな。ごめん、すいませんでした。で、楓は、通常移動よりステップの方がわずかに早いので、できるところはステップで行っ
So
てい
yeah,
きます。
right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to grab two separate stones or like tablets. There's a silver and a gold tablet, and this allows us to access the eastern keep, eastern,
歯
western,
車を使いますが、
Western keep.
ここは戸棚を開けなくても歯車を
which
使える
is
ので
where Princess Yuki is being held. So quickly going to go and grab. There's a silver plate, nicely done. The gold plate is hidden in the furnace
で
room,
中に入って、
so we're going to go in there and
ちょっ
do
とね、
that.
今ね、窓からの光でね、画面の右半分がね、見えてない状態ですね、今。画面の右半分がね、ほぼ見えてないんでね、ちょっとね、ガバるかもしれないですけど、すみません。で、
So let's get through that. Very nice. So yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, this is actually pretty tricky to do, but done very, very nicely there by Hinge. It just uses the sidle to kind of get past that, tanks the hits because it's okay. He hasn't got too much to deal with still, so it's not like he's going to die from anything. Gets past these enemies and just continues.
これで最速です。だからカーテンがないチャートなんでね、ちょっとカーテン誰か買ってください。で、進んでいきます。で、直線なんでステップを挟んでいきます。で、この後ね、ボルチマンドという敵と戦うんですけど、首切りという技をさっきも使ったんですけど、使っていきます。でその首切りというのがですね、
Here we are then. Those two plates in allows us to get access to eastern keep. Going to do the center one, then both two left and two far right to get the sacred knife. This sacred knife is a demon slaying knife for Kaede. So before with the regular Tanto Wakizashi, I want to say Tanto. Yeah, she couldn't couldn't deal too much damage. However, now with the sacrificial knife, she's a lot stronger. Now, this is her boss. She doesn't really have any bosses apart from this one, and this is the Cloaked Demon. The Cloaked Demon is an incredibly important fight to get right. Kaede has an Isen. You saw her use her Isen on one of the skeleton demons. However, it's very, very hard to get done on the Cloaked Demon. It requires a bunch of things. The timing of the flip, the timing of the actual execution of the knockdown into slice, as well as spacing and the move that the enemy uses. The easiest move to use is when he jumps out of the floor and then slams down with an attack afterwards. That's got the most like recovery frames afterwards, so you can effectively dodge and punish at the same time. So that's an important part of this thing. Now, it's doable, you know. If I can do it, Hinge definitely can. And Hinge has a success rate of about 65-70% with this, which is incredibly high for this trick. There's a lot that goes on, and basically, rather than having the fight take 35 seconds to a minute, it's over in like a blink of an eye. It's just over. And it's such a huge trick.
楓さんお願い。私のことはもういいから、サマノスケと一緒に早くここから逃げて。諦めてはいけないわ。あなたは必ず。
Guildenstern takes Yukihime into the shadows. You can die here alone. And then we have to do the fight with the Cloaked Demon. You can see where he is, obviously, just there. So you can see the outline. Let's see how well this goes. Bait the attack. There's a jump. Doesn't get it. Okay. You can hear his exasperation with it. Didn't... Ooh, really? I disagree. So what he's doing, you can see him going for the attacks to bait another animation out of the Cloaked Demon. So you can do that slice. There it is. Okay, cool. There it is. Very well done. Okay. So yeah, he attacks it once to kind of bait it out with that horizontal slice because it's one of those ones that for him works. You can do that one and the overhead slice are like the easiest. That one's a setup. If you get unlucky with animations, it's good just to go for the hit and then go for the confirmation. But he did get it. It took a bit of time. It wasn't first try, but I think it was fourth try, I think. But still got it. So, you know, really, really good.
楓パートが終わりました。サモノスケパートが始まりますと。
Okay. The next fight is going to be Stylado. So you might remember that Kaede got knocked out by an imposter, an imposter version of Samanosuke. And that's who we're going to go and fight now.
公園に変えます。その前にこれ眼薬を取っておきます。
Casually, a bit of an arse, but can be dealt with fairly well with magic. Now, at the beginning of the fight, there's a little bit of free time where Stylado doesn't actually do anything. So you can normally open the fight. You want to just press left a little bit to turn left, and then immediately unleash magic. So left and then into, there it is, to get the hit there. So he's going to use wind magic here. Oh, he's got put in the corner. That's not ideal. That should be enough. One more. Bait the attack. Brilliant. Okay, great. There's the fight. So yeah, you'll see what he does is he kind of, if you press the R1 button, there's like this kind of lock-on type thing that you get to one of many enemies. And he kind of baits forward and then baits back so that you get the Stylado go for a stabbing animation. So he baits the attack out, immediately moves back, and then counters with the magic. So a really clean fight. Nicely done. Could have been a bit faster, got hit a couple of times, and there is a bit of RNG based on how cooperative Stylado wants to be in terms of his aggression. But, you know, fine regardless. Okay, so we get an evil tablet, and we also get... He wanted to get hit by that, and there's a power jewel as well. A bit of fun. A bit of fun. He's grabbing all of the power jewels and stuff like that. So. All the upgrades. Going to grab the bow, which is left, right, left, right, right. The bow, again, we have arrows. It does help to have a bow if you want to fire arrows. Excuse me. Then we'll use the evil plate on this door that we saw earlier. The pretty gruesome cutscene in here, actually, where we'll see. You know, if you remember if you remember Yui, there was that woman who, you know, obviously was with Yumimaru and Kaede when you got punched. Who was like took Yumimaru. You see her true form. She's actually a massive like beetle bug-like demon called. Why on earth has her name completely escaped my mind? She's the reason that I hate everything in the world. God, Hecuba. There we go. I had to look at my splits. Hecuba is her name. And she's a really, really interesting fight. Sometimes, like older strats used to use a soul absorber on her. We're going to be fighting her in a bit. But yeah, she's actually the reason we need bows, pretty much. The bow and arrow is pretty much for Hecuba. So we're now going to retrace the steps that Kaede took. Right, that's so much better than the way I do it. My word, Hinge. Yeah, the way I do it is bad. Thank you, Hinge. I'll learn that for next time. So yeah, we're gonna go back to this area. We're gonna be able to go in a few places that Kaede couldn't because Kaede didn't have magic. Now we do, so we can. The biggest thing to note is that obviously we have a little bit more magic that we need to get. Yeah, he ignores those. That's fair. I don't know why I get them still. Absorb the magic. Change to fire. We need to get through the fire door here. And then gonna make our way through this next screen all the way to the final room where there are gonna be 3 or 4 bull demons. Again, then the name of those has left my mind momentarily as well. It'll come back to me. We're only gonna kill the 3 yellow ones. The red one takes too long to kill. So at least that's what I remember happening. There's 1 fire, 2 fire. Gonna grab the wind just to get the follow up. There we go. Oh, he's gonna go for the kill. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, he needs a little bit more souls then. Okay. There we go. 5,000. So he needs another 4,000 to upgrade the wind magic to level 3 because we need to get that done. And then he's going to grab a few more souls in order to upgrade the arrows. So any items you get, herbs and arrows, can be upgraded with a cost of everything else. So it's 1,000 souls to upgrade a herb to a medicine. So from a small amount of HP regen to maximum HP. The other thing is 100 souls per arrow upgrade. So we have 15,000 souls right now. And that, a total of 15,000. But we have 1.5 or like 1-ish. Yeah, sorry, 1.3 souls. 1.3 thousand souls. There's going to be 1 more Isen that Hinge will perform and use soul absorbers to multiply the souls out to get about another 3,000. Because we need 4,000 souls, a total of 19,000 to get all of those 40 arrows upgraded to fire arrows. And fire arrows are much more powerful than regular arrows. So, here, oh, this is the bad animation. Okay, good. So, here we go. Let the absorbers happen. It's going to go for a regular kill because you don't really want to muck around with the... And there's the final 4,000. So he's got like 19,200, almost 300,000 souls. So perfect. It's very important actually that we skip 20,000. We don't want to get 20,000 because the next time you upgrade, if you have 20,000, there's a pretty longish cutscene, like 7 or 8 seconds cutscene of watching the Oni Gauntlet upgrade. Because it upgrades to a faster absorb at 20,000 and I believe 50,000 souls. It becomes like level 2 and 3 Gauntlet. So, yeah. And earlier you saw there was the 4,000 used to upgrade Arashi to level 3. Not for this door, but the next door we go through requires Arashi level 3. And then again, we now have everything we need to complete the game pretty much. Just grab the items along the way that are mandatory. I think he's also going to grab the extra power jewel and the final 2 magic jewels. So, and also the not the holy armor. We've already got the holy armor. I want to say the ogre armor, but there's 1 more armor upgrade, and it's in the hardest trick chest in the game, which is behind the waterfall in this next segment. So no more souls are needed. We've got enough souls to complete the game as well. So there's been very, very good stuff so far from Hinge. So instead of going across the bridge, I'm expecting him to go around the back. Okay, so he's going to go and do this then. Not getting the armor? Ah, he cut the bridge. Okay, he didn't get it. Very interesting. 3-6. And we're done. Maybe it's just safety, but he's just doing some intense safety. I mean, I respect it. This run can be a bit mean sometimes. Here's the upgrade, 40 arrows. It was 18,000. Sorry, why did I say 19,000? It was 18,000. He grabbed, what, 33 fire arrows? Yeah, at this point, the reason we are going over here, if you remember when we opened up the door with the evil plate, there was a barrier that appeared, and the only way to break that barrier is with the great bow and the great arrow. So we come here to grab the great bow.
で、ここにある浜の弓を手に入れます。そうすると、サマノスケがまた捕まります。
And
こい
this
ついつも
is
捕まって
the
る
end
な。
of this section with Samanosuke. We're going to go back to Kaede for her second segment. There's no boss here. We've got a couple of trick chests to grab and the great arrow as well. And then when the two reunite, the arrow and the bow will be united as well. And then Hinge will approach the demon realm for the final area of the game. So this second area is a little bit trickier in terms of movement, because we're going to have to deal with these Hecubites, these baby lava demons from Hecuba. Interesting, he goes for the 1-2-3 combo. There we go. Waits for the jump and uses the flip that Kaede has to get behind these enemies. Squeezes past, nice and easy.
絶対でもないですけど、結構ね、本当にね、強いんでね。ここをステップで抜けると横から抜けられるので、この感じで進んでいきます。で、さっきも言った通り、
Has to go around the back though because he knocked down the tree. He knocked down the he knocked down the bridge. So he's skipping the armor. I guess that's just intense safety, as I said. So yeah, the only reason Kaede can get here is she's got lock picks that Samanosuke doesn't have, so she can get down here. Just ignore these enemies, swing left, swing right, get through the door. There's going to be two archers at the end here. If you're fast enough down here, you can guard and get into the wall to only take one hit, or be fast enough to never get the actual shot in instead. Thanks, Hinge. I'm learning a lot from watching him. Okay, so right, middle, right, middle. And this is the great arrow, or the decorated arrow. In order to get the great arrow, we need to kind of weigh down this statue. So in this room, there's a statue that has the great arrow. By taking the great arrow, it locks the door behind us so you can't get out. If you come here first, you need to put the back. But now that we have the decorated arrow, we can unlock the door again. But as a bonus, it also unlocks a chest. So use the decorated arrow, unlock the door, unlock the chest with a green key in it, and then make our way to the other side to go and support Samanosuke. So he's going to start wide and then move slowly in. So you can see when the archers are, if they're always slowly adjusting their shot, they'll never take the shot. So because of that, you start wide and you run along, kind of like slowly diagonally down the corridor, so that the archer never gets the shot off. So you don't have to worry about blocking or anything like that. So. Okay, and that's the end of the Kaede section. It's again, she's really cool, and I wish we'd get to play with her more, but yeah, that's it for her. Thank you very much, Kaede. It's only like 4 minutes long, if that. Hinge is so very good at this game, it's nuts. Samanosuke and Master is coming, watch out. So this is the Hecuba fight coming up next. The Hecuba fight is tricky because there is a little bit of RNG again. We're going to use the wind magic and lightning magic to begin with. Using wind magic on Hecuba kind of cocks up her flight and she falls down into melee range so that you can use thunder magic. So we're going to use wind to bring her down, to use thunder to knock her back up, and then wind to bring her down again, and then thunder. Now again, we only get 2 casts. However, if one single blue orb drops, we can get a third wind into a third lightning. And this is really, really helpful to basically deal massive damage. If we can get that third magic combo off before we get into the crux of the fight, that's very important. So we have these fire arrows. If you get like 2 magic combos, you know, just 2 of each, it's about 20 arrows, fire arrows to kill her. If you get 1 more, it's like 14. It's a fair chunk. You can see it's a very narrow zone. So the idea is that we're going to be using, like, try and find a position that we can keep an eye on, or kind of keep her stun locked with fire arrows after we get the wind shots off. So we're going to run forward immediately, wind magic, swap, and every time you'll see that the wind magic is also dealing damage to the Hecubites. No magic just yet. That's really bad. Blue, perfect, wonderful. Okay, cool. This is going to be a good fight.
で、青玉は出てないですね。で、もう一回。青玉は出て、あ、出ましたね。
Although I need to reload my stream. Okay, cool. There's the magic combo. And then we're going. Oh, he forgot. He forgot to. Okay, cool. He forgot to use the lightning, but he got it off in the end. Okay, cool. Now this is where it gets tricky, and this is why he grabbed all of those power jewels. These Hecubites are annoying. Now, okay, here we go. You can hear every shot.
で、サマノスケの角度を見て、あまりにも真上に出てるようだと、弓矢が当たらない可能性があるので、はい、あんま撃たないように。
Good fight.
弓矢に真上に行ったらあんま撃たないように。
There it is. Wonderful fight. Really, really well handled. A little bit funny with the magic. However, the arrows were so on point. That's why he grabbed extra armor and extra power jewels, because if you do get comboed by those, you're going down. But that was really, really well done. He got into a good position, shot down the Hecubites, and his rhythm on the fire arrows is really, really tight. You can actually fire them too quickly sometimes, and that one shot will go through her because she's still in iframes. You have to kind of wait for like Samanosuke to like knock the arrow in, and then the flames will start appearing on the end of the arrow. At that point, you want to fire them. So it's actually really, really precise. He's not just mashing that; he's waiting for the arrow to knock, let go. Waiting for the arrow to knock, fire, let go. It's a very, very precise visual cue, so that's actually very good. And yeah, he killed 5 Hecubites, and it was about, as I say, about 14, 15 shots. So he's got 13 or so arrows left, and these are going to be used for the next boss fight. We've pretty much done everything we need to do now. We've got the great bow, we've got the great arrow, we can get through the demon shield, which is guarding the way to the demon realm, where Yumaru and Princess Yuki are being held. Samanosuke lays down his friend who was damaged from the fight, or from the explosion, and says, "Don't worry, I'll save Japan. Destroy all of those monsters and save the princess." It's so silly having this outfit on. It really is. The little panda just going mad all the time. I use this outfit for my SGDQ run as well, and it's kind of funny. I mean, of course it would happen. Makes sense. Right then, so we're going for the finale now. I do believe we're going to see Hinge equip the Fire Sword and Ryu. We're going to use double and Ryu to get through the first phase of the next boss. Now, earlier in the game, about 20-ish minutes, there we go, there's an Ryu. We fought Marcellus. We're now going to fight Marcellus 2, the second iteration of Marcellus. But before that, we're going to get a Bryan Adams in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves moment here. So, you know, sing along. Everything I do, I do it for you. The arrow through the head, of course, because, you know, it's just comically huge. I don't want to say Bryan Adams. It was Kevin Costner who played him, but Bryan Adams sung the song. I always call it a Bryan Adams moment. So yeah, this is the door to the demon realm. Only demons can enter. When you go through this door, you can't get out. スピードモードになったら、ヒアを使って17本ぐらい、17本、18本ぐらい打ってから戦術核を、残り風と。So Guildenstern once more. Impressive you made it this far, but ultimately futile since your journey ends here. Only demons can enter. Be gone, monster. Why don't you go back to playing with your worthless toy? What did you say? How dare you, a mere human, mock me? Fine then. It's time for you to face my greatest creation. Come, Marcellus. Marcellus is how he says it in Japanese. It's great. So Marcellus 2, Marcellus 2 is very similar in terms of the first phase. 2 fire 3s put him into the second of 3 phases of the fight. So we're going to open up with an immediate Enryu 3, like immediately, because it's going to be attack animations, and then bait the second attack, and then off. There we go. We're now into the double sword phase. Now this is where we're going to use fire arrows once again, because you can see he's just being stunned. And this is the fight. He can't get out, he's going to get flinched every single time, and basically we're going to use fire arrows until he no longer gets flinched by them, which means he's in the third phase. And then a couple of bits of magic is enough to finish him off. And this is why we get so many fire arrows. Because... Oh, he didn't get it. Oh, he was going to go for it, though. I respect it a lot. That should be the fight. Absolutely destroyed him. Very well done. Very well done. So that is the fight. So I mentioned earlier that only one boss could be Isend, right? Could be counter hit, and that is Marcellus 2. Marcellus 2 does not die to an Isend in one hit, but he can be Isend, and it has to be a Hijiki Isend, and it was the move that you saw him do. If you open enough space between you and Marcellus, he'll like dash towards you and slice, and you can Hijiki that and get the Isend out. You don't really like kill him, as I say, but you can do it, is my point. So now is the final descent to the heart of the demon realm, and we're going to go and fight Guildenstern. Not Guildenstern, Rosencrantz, bloody hell. Fortinbras. Sorry, I got Shakespeare on the brain. So those 2 items on the ground are medicines, but Hinge is a god and doesn't need it, so it's fine. I am Fortinbras. So Fortinbras is a giant snake-like demon, and said snake-like demon is going to get bodied. Now, we've held on to the Soul Absorber, and I'll explain what it does. When you use the Soul Absorber, it basically makes a ton of souls appear from an opponent. You also, for lesser demons, the smaller ones, if they're in the ring of the Soul Absorber and you press circle to absorb souls, it insta-kills them. But for bosses, it basically unleashes a whole bunch of souls. So it's essentially a complete magic refill and HP refill when it comes to this boss. Now, magic is our main source of damage. There's kind of like 2 parts to fighting Fortinbras. First off, we're going to deal damage as much as we can to his tail. If we deal enough damage to the tail, what it's going to do is it's going to bring him down like this. 1 hit, magic on the head. Hitting the head is how we kill him. So we're going to basically use magic to avoid any of the attacks that he does use like that. So we can bring him down. 1 magic, very, very nice. So that's all of that now. We're going to try and see if there are magic drops like that. Wonderful. So you're going to try and get that. Perfect. That's very, very important. So he can get 1 more cast of that fire before we use the Soul Absorber. 1 magic. Good. Now, we've still got one usage of this again. Now, as I said, we're also using it to avoid enemy animations and attacks. So it's very, very important. Now, big hit combo, lightning. This is how it's going to go. This is just the fight. Min-maxing the magic usage, making sure we can bring him down and deal as much damage as possible. Oh, perfect. Very, very nice. Good, bold decision. Here comes the Soul Absorber. Get all the magic back. Brilliant. Full MP refill, and we can keep going with this aggression. Never give him a chance to breathe. Never let him get a hit off. Brilliant. Okay, he's going to keep on this one, bring him down, then swap to fire for the 1 magic. Because again, the damage down to his tail doesn't do anything to the boss. It's all about the damage to hit the head. This is so good. Hit you, monster. 1 magic. Time's coming up as well. I don't have to say that. That's what Hinge has to do. But yeah, time's coming up when this fight goes down. The last hit on the Fortinbras. Down he comes. 1 hit. And the magic. Not yet. Yeah, it's close though. Yeah, he knows it. There it is. And time. Wonderful. Wonderful. A 101.12 was the final hit, and that's GG, and that's an incredible run by Hinge. He has the world record at sub 1 RTA, and a 101.12
戦術
is
核撃つ前に通常攻
nuts.
撃を撃つ
Like,
時
really,
間があるん
really
ですけ
good.
ど、時間っていうか、武器ごとにコイン
Hinge
だ
is
ったら
so
1回、
good, dude.
雷山島だったら2回撃てるんで、それをやってなかったので、ちょっと足りなかったですね。最後の最後
Hinge
が
is
バ
so
レま
good.
した。
He has a
まあ
59.33 as his PB.
まあ全体的にはうまくいったんじゃないでしょうか。
There's only one other person who has a sub 1, and that's Yorosiro. That time that he just got here would be third place on the leaderboard. It beats everyone else apart from Yorosiro, the only other person with a sub 1. It's that good of a run. And he got loads of extras.
1時間
Hinge.
分ぐらいじゃないですかね、これだと。多分
That's Hinge.
ギリギリ1時間
We
いかない
skipped the
ぐらい
final cutscene. It's an amazing
タ
cutscene.
イムだと思うんですけど、ちょっと自分タイム確認したいのでわかんないですけど、多分そのぐらいだと思い
Samanosuke,
ます
at the point of nearly dying, he like bleeds on the eye of the Oni gauntlet, and it transforms him into an Oni and allows him to like murder, like brutally
告知とか
murder
聞きますけ
Fortune
ど、
Brass.
私は
Like
別に
slices his arm up in two and stabs him in the eye. It's
ない
great.
ので、ここで
But yeah,
で
incredible. Yeah, so that was a 57 in-game time. So 101.15 or 101.12 RTA, 57 in-game. The actual world record is 55 in-game, 59 RTA. And that's it from me. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much to for watching, and congratulations to Hinge, doing a great job. I love this waiting screen. RTA Chan is so cute. But quickly, thanks to all of the Onimusha community, Loner Hero has been putting in so much work into this series. So thank you to him, thank you to Joshkas, and of course to Hinge for being my motivation. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the next run coming up. Have a good one. Cheers. Take care.